Was doom scrolling at work when I found the question. My subordinate keeps trying to seduce me. Should I fire her? I frowned. The description of her outfits and her routine. Why did it sound exactly like me? The next day I wore my most basic, soul-crushing corporate attire. White button-down, blue skirt. The question updated immediately. This woman is a master manipulator. Look at how sexy she dressed today. Catch with a picture of a generic outfit that looked exactly like mine. The comments were confused. Me what? I stared at the photo on my screen, frozen. That was definitely my outfit. I clicked on his profile and started digging from the beginning. His early posts were textbook finance bro stocks, crypto grind set, motivational quotes. I didn't understand. Then the tone shifted. There's a girl in the office. Eyes like sparkles, always smiling at me when everyone else hides. What does it mean? The comments flooded in. She wants you, bro. Him company policy forbids office romance. Commenter, do you like her? Him, I don't have time for women while others are dating. I study the blade. Women only slow down my draw speed. Commenter, alright, Sigma. Whatever you say. But then things got weird. The stock tips vanished. The updates about the subordinate took over. Yesterday's plea for help had over 5,000 upvotes. And thousands of comments. She's constantly provoking me. It's affecting my revenue stream. What do I do? The internet loves a train wreck. Fire her. He replied instantly. I am a principled leader. I don't fire people without cause. How is she provoking you? Give us the tea. He wrote a manifesto. Every Monday meeting. She dresses provocatively. She stares at me with those bright eyes while giving her report. I mentioned once that I minor in literature. Turns out she writes answers on Quora. My handle is endless summer. Her social handle is June. The internet paused. I was with you until the names. What does endless summer have to do with June? He replied within seconds. June is the gateway to summer. She named herself June because she wants to get into summer. She wants to get into me. It's a subliminal signal. Commenter, LOL, okay buddy. That's a reach. I sat back in my chair. I was starting to suspect the delusional poster was talking about me. My nickname in the workgroup chat was indeed June. Not because I wanted to enter anyone, but because I was born in June. I never paid attention to anyone else's handles. I didn't know who Endless Summer was. My main gig was being a corporate drone. My side hustle was writing online. Everyone knew that. I never exposed my pen name. And I definitely didn't stalk my coworkers online. Aliases. The internet has no chill, OP. What do you mean she's provoking you? You're just hallucinating. Yeah, those usernames aren't even related. You're reaching, bro, LMAO. OP has already written a 300-episode romance drama in his head. And the girl is still on the opening credits. Poster wasn't having it. Then explain why she tries so hard to perform for me in every meeting. The comments turned to pity. Is it possible, just maybe? She wants a raise? I sipped my coffee in the break room, staring at the screen. I needed to know who this guy was. But first I had to confirm if the subordinate was actually me. The next day I went full NPC. Basic white button down, boring blue pencil skirt. It wasn't Monday. No scheduled meetings. Sam, my direct supervisor, suddenly called a team huddle. 5 minutes after the meeting ended, the question updated. This woman is dangerous. She dressed so sexy today I switched to my burner account. How sexy? Pics or it didn't happen. In less than an hour my comment had 1,000 likes. Verified the ratio. I was winning. To prove the haters wrong, the poster uploaded a picture. It was a stock photo of a white shirt and blue skirt. Commenters, the replies were a wall of confusion. He was typing furiously now, desperate to prove his point. You guys don't get it. She wore that just to see me. What else was I wearing? I typed back. Wore what? The internet followed my lead. We're curious now. What is it? This fit is basic corporate drone attire. Where's the sexy? Honestly, it's kind of frumpy. OP is down bad. The poster snapped the stockings. I'm a leg man, okay? She wore them on purpose. She knows exactly what she's doing. Showing off those long, straight legs. And the tattoo on her ankle? A gardenia. It's lethal. Case closed. The subordinate was me. I have a gardenia tattoo on my right ankle. My name is Fallon and the gardenia is my signature flower. The comment section exploded. Guys, I'm trying not to laugh out loud at work. My face is cramping. OP is absolutely obsessed with her. Bookmark forwarding to my work bestie. This is tea. The poster started spiraling. Forget it. I can't explain it to you people. I don't like her. My focus is purely on revenue and growth. Top comment read LMAO. If this guy was cremated, his mouth would be the only thing left because it's still so stubborn. I have 2 direct supervisors. One is Timothy, the operations lead. He's married. Pass. The other is Sam, the department head. Single. Funny. A strong possibility. Then there's the big boss. He is devastatingly handsome. But he is a ruthless capitalist. Cold as liquid nitrogen. Rumors say he is allergic to women. And only gets aroused by profit margins. Probability low. Logic dictates it has to be Sam. To confirm, I slid into the poster's DMs using my burner account. Do you work at Nexus Tech? The reply was instant. How did you know? I looked up. Sam was standing by the printer humming a breakup ballad. Oh, what kind of man are you? What kind of man? He was completely lost in his own vocal performance. He wasn't looking at his phone. Then Alistair. The thought hit me like a physical blow. I couldn't shake it. I had to rule him out. Downed a shot of vodka I kept stashed in the break room. Before I dared to knock on Alistair's door. He was reading a file framed by the dying sun. Gold-rimmed glasses rested on the bridge of his nose. The air in the room instantly changed the moment I stepped in. It smelled of expensive cedar and aged leather. A cold, sterile scent that screamed money and distance. Didn't look up immediately. His features were sharp, predatory. Sculpted by a god who prioritized aesthetics over mercy. When his eyes finally flicked to me, the temperature in the room dropped below freezing. Abysmal, dark. Devoid of warmth. My stomach dropped. I instantly regretted this. A man like this doesn't shitpost on the internet about his feelings. But I was already inside the lion's den. Visit. His voice was a low rumble. It vibrated in the floorboards. The sheer weight of his presence made my palms sweat. I forced a plastic smile onto my face. There's a corporate outreach event on the platform. They want to invite you. Do you have time? He didn't blink. Bring the file here. He flipped through the papers I handed him. I stared at his hands. Fingers like carved marble. Cold, elegant. A Patek Philippe wrapped around his wrist. They looked familiar. I'd seen hands like that on the poster's profile. I closed my eyes and went for the kill. Sir Alistair. What is your handle ID? I need to note it down for the organizers. He glanced at me, silent. Stretched, suffocating, and heavy. The poster said his ID was Endless Summer. Alistair turned his monitor. He opened his profile page. I looked down, holding my breath until my lungs burned. Waiting for the verdict. The name on the screen hit me like a physical blow. Alastair. Just his real name. Not Endless Summer. My lungs seized. I was running out of oxygen. The office was dead silent. Eerily quiet. Because I was leaning in so close. Gravity did its job. A lock of my hair slipped from behind my ear. It drifted down and grazed the back of his hand. Sorry, sir. I scrambled back, apologizing frantically. Alistair didn't move. His lips pressed into a razor-thin line. His entire body went rigid. Every muscle in his forearm locked up. He looked physically repulsed by my touch. I was insane to think this man was the poster. I fled his office. My legs felt like jelly. It was a close call. But at least I had eliminated Alistair as a suspect. So who was it? I was still spiraling when my phone buzzed. Notification. The question updated. You guys said she doesn't like me. She just made a move. She came in for a pointless report. And deliberately let her hair brush against my hand. This woman. Her tactics are relentless. My pupils dilated. This. This wasn't a coincidence. The poster is Alistair. Alistair thinks I'm trying to seduce him. I'm not. So that means he's interested in me. The thought hit my brain, and I immediately shook my head. Trying to dislodge the water inside. No way. How could a tyrant like him catch feelings? Sure, he looks like a god. But he works like a machine. He was brutal to his employees. But lethal to himself. During the IPO. Year, he left the office at midnight and returned at 4 a.m. Even the security guards, ex-Marines, couldn't keep up with his stamina. There was a running joke in the office. If Alistair wanted to date, he'd have to carve that time out of his eating or shitting schedule. Because if he cut into his sleep schedule any further, he'd literally die. I glanced through the glass partition. He was working. Expression stoic. Phone cast aside. But the timing of that update was mathematically impossible to ignore. Didn't matter if the poster was Alistair or not. I was going to test him. He claimed he didn't like the subordinate. He was playing hard to get. Fine. I decided to give the internet a show. I logged back into my burner account and went for the jugular. In the comments, you're just an old, ugly creep fantasizing about your female subordinate. Because you can't get one in real life. The internet pivot was instant. True, we're all laughing. But the girl is actually in danger. She's out here grinding for a promotion. And this greasy boss is writing fanfiction about her. The vibe shifted fast. Everyone started attacking the poster's appearance and vibe. Someone even posted a stock photo of a balding, sweaty, middle-aged man. This is definitely what OP looks like. At first, the poster tried to defend himself. I'm 6'2", I have an 8-pack. I'm handsome, women chase me. The internet laughed in his face. Haha, sure, January. On TikTok everyone is 6'2" and a billionaire. Oh please, if the line of women chasing you went around the block, you wouldn't be here writing fanfiction about your subordinate in it. Checked OP's post history. Case closed. He's a fake alpha. A LARPer. The roasting intensified. The comments turned vicious. Disgusting. This guy is probably a neckbeard IRL. Imagine a girl dressing nice and this creep thinking it's for him. Gross. The poster had no comeback. He was drowning in the hate. I imagined him on the other side of the screen, probably coughing up blood from rage. I decided to twist the knife. I sent him a DM. Do you want to prove yourself? He replied instantly. How? Post one of those transition videos that are trending. Show your body. If you're hot. The hate stops. Simple silence. Didn't reply. His profile stayed dormant. But the comment section kept cooking him. The engagement was skyrocketing. I lay in bed silently, liking every negative comment. I scrolled until my eyes burned. It was deep into the night. Just as I was about to pass out, I grabbed my water cup for a sip to wake myself up. Suddenly, the timeline refreshed. A new video. I woke up instantly. My finger tapped the screen before my brain caught up. The video started. In near total darkness, I could only make out a tall, broad silhouette. Then a sharp, metallic shing sliced through the quiet audio. The beat dropped. The visual exploded. Warm, golden backlighting slammed into the frame, outlining him in a halo of heat. I couldn't see his face. Camera didn't want me to. It wanted me to look at the anatomy. The lens glided over a jawline sharp enough to cut glass. It tracked down the thick column of his throat, lingering on the sharp protrusion of his Adam's apple. As it bobbed, it swept over exquisite, deep-set collarbones. His hands gripped two glowing blades of light. His chest was broad, the muscles carved from stone. It wasn't just bulk. It was dense, functional muscle built from years of discipline. The lighting caught the texture of his skin, highlighting every ripple of his pecs, every vein tracking up his forearms. And there, nestled in the hollow of his left collarbone, revealed by the stark lighting, a single dark mole. It was a master class in stoic restraint and raw sex appeal. Thud. My grip went slack. My water cup hit the floor, water splashing over the wood. But I didn't hear it. The video was short. It ended with him executing a clean, sharp sword stance. The muscles in his back shifted like tectonic plates. Under a white shirt that was now wet and clinging to his skin. Fade to black. I sat frozen in my bed. I was stunned into catatonia by the sheer, aggressive beauty of the male form. The comment section nuked itself. Holy shit, that body. That aura. You told me this was a creepy incel. I apologize, OP. I was unfamiliar with your game. Do you need a human ornament for your leg? Mom asked why I'm on my knees looking at my phone. It's because I'm looking at God. So who is the subordinate? I need her name and location immediately. How is she surviving this? The water on the floor was cold, but my face was burning. I stared at the dark screen of my phone, the image of that silhouette, the lethal curve of his shoulders, the way the wet shirt clung to his abs, and that damn mole, burned into my retinas. Alistair. The man who lived on black coffee and quarterly earnings. The man who treated human emotion like a software bug. He was a blade-studying thirst trapper. I didn't sleep. I couldn't. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw the golden light hitting his collarbone. But more than that, I saw his delusional posts. He thought I was entering his life because my name was June. He thought my gardenia tattoo was a lethal tactic. He's not a tyrant, I whispered to my ceiling. He's a Victorian maiden with a gym membership and a savior complex. The next morning, I arrived at Nexus Tech with dark circles under my eyes and a plan. If Alistair wanted a master manipulator, I would give him a performance that would make him delete his account. I didn't wear the sexy blue skirt. I went for a high-necked, charcoal gray pantsuit. It was professional. It was sharp. It was basically armor. When I walked past his glass office, I didn't look in. I didn't even glance. I walked with the purpose of a woman who was only interested in her Excel sheets. 5 minutes later, my phone buzzed. I didn't even need to check. I knew. Endless Summer posted a new update. She's playing the cold shoulder gambit. Swap the provocative skirts for a power suit. She wants me to think she's given up, but the charcoal gray is a psychological trigger for authority and submission. She's trying to challenge my position as the alpha of this office. Nice try, June. I see the game. I choked on my latte. Psychological trigger for submission? It's gray wool, you lunatic. The comments were a mess. OP, she's literally just working. Bro, you're the one who posted the sword video. You're the thirsty one. Endless Summer replied, I only posted the video to maintain the integrity of my platform. My focus remains on the revenue stream. She is a distraction I must manage. I clicked reply from my burner account. Burner_99, management involves firing. If she's such a distraction, why haven't you fired her? Unless, you like the distraction too much? There was no reply for 20 minutes. Then, a notification popped up. Endless Summer, I am a fair leader. I don't fire talent for having a crush. I simply endure the gaze. Endure the gaze? I hissed. I stood up, grabbed a stack of files, and marched toward his office. If he wanted a gaze, I'd give him one that would melt his gold-rimmed glasses. I didn't knock. I walked in. Alistair was behind his desk, typing with such ferocity I thought the keyboard might catch fire. He didn't look up, but I saw the muscle in his jaw clench. He knew I was there. The Q3 projections, sir, I said, my voice as flat as a desert. I leaned over the desk to lay the files down. I purposefully let my wrist rest near his hand, not touching, but close enough to feel the heat radiating from him. I made sure my gardenia tattoo was visible, right there on my ankle as I stood. I caught him. His eyes flickered down for a microsecond. 1/10 of a second of pure, unadulterated weakness. He looked up, his expression a mask of frozen tundra. Is there anything else, Fallon? You seem tense, Alistair, I said, using his first name for the first time. The air in the room thickened. Is the revenue stream sluggish? He leaned back, his eyes narrowing. He looked exactly like the man in the video, minus the glowing swords. The revenue is fine. It's the noise in the office that's the problem. Then maybe you should close your door, I whispered. I turned and walked out, swaying my hips just a fraction more than necessary. I got back to my desk and refreshed the page. Endless Summer, emergency. She used my first name. The boundary is breached. She's trying to humanize me, so I'll drop my guard. And the tattoo, it's like a beacon. I need to increase my meditation sessions. The blade must stay sharp. The internet was losing its mind. She called him by his first name? It's over. Wedding bells by Q4. OP is down so bad he's analyzing the word tense. The next few days were a psychological war. Every time I did something normal, Alistair interpreted it as a seduction tactic. I ate a banana in the break room, he posted about suggestive fruit consumption. I tied my hair in a ponytail, he wrote a 500-word essay on how exposing the nape of the neck was a primordial mating signal. But the real turning point happened on Friday. The company held a team-building evening at a high-end sports club. The main event? Kendo and fencing. I stood in the locker room, pulling on the white fencing gear, my heart hammering against my ribs. I knew why he'd picked this. He wanted to show off. He wanted to be the endless summer with the glowing blades in front of me. When I stepped onto the floor, Alistair was already there. He looked like a god in white. The fencing jacket emphasized the breadth of his shoulders, and he held the foil with a casual, terrifying grace. Fallon, he said, his voice echoing in the hall. I didn't think you'd participate. I'm full of surprises, I said, snapping my mask down. We squared off. The rest of the office gathered around, sensing a tension that went far beyond corporate hierarchy. He was good. He was fast. He moved with a cold, calculated efficiency that mirrored his business style. But I wasn't bad. I had taken fencing in college to deal with the stress of my internship. Cling. Clack. Cling. The sound of metal on metal was the only thing in the room. He lunged, I parried. He moved left, I circled right. You're distracted, he hissed through his mask as our blades locked near the hilts. Am I? I breathed, leaning in. Or are you just upset that you can't predict my next move? I disengaged, swept his blade aside, and touched the tip of my foil right to his chest. Right over his heart. Or where his heart was supposed to be. Point, I said. The room was silent. Alistair stood perfectly still. He pulled off his mask. His hair was damp with sweat, clinging to his forehead. His eyes weren't cold anymore. They were dark, burning with a mix of frustration and something that looked dangerously like hunger. He didn't say a word. He walked off the floor and straight to the locker rooms. I checked my phone in the car 10 minutes later. Endless summer, she defeated me. Not with skill, but with subversion. She looked into the eyes of the hunter and didn't blink. I am beginning to suspect that I am not the one in control of this narrative. If she touches me one more time, I might have to break company policy. God help my soul. I felt a surge of triumph, followed by a strange, hollow ache. This was funny, yes. It was a great story for my online fans. But looking at him on that fencing floor, I realized I didn't just want to win the war. I wanted him to be right. I decided to end it. I logged into my June account, the one I used for writing, and I posted a story. It wasn't a finance post. It was a piece of flash fiction titled The Summer That Never Ends. In the story, I wrote about a king who lived in a castle of glass and ice, who spent his nights practicing with a sword because he was too afraid to touch anything warm. And I wrote about a girl named June who brought the sun with her, not to seduce him, but to see if he would melt. I didn't link it. I didn't tag him. But I knew he'd find it. He was a stalker, after all. Monday morning. The atmosphere at Nexus Tech was heavy. People were whispering. I walked into the office, and for the first time Alistair wasn't in his chair. On my desk sat a single flower. Not a rose. Not a lily. A gardenia. And next to it, a small, handwritten note on heavy cream stationery. The king is tired of the ice. June has arrived. Meet me on the roof at sunset. Bring your lethal tactics. My heart did a backflip. I spent the day in a daze. At 6 p.m., I took the elevator to the top floor. The wind was cool, the sky a bruised purple and gold. Alistair was standing by the railing, his back to me. He wasn't wearing his suit jacket. His sleeves were rolled up, exposing those forearms I had seen in the video. I found your story, he said without turning around. I knew you would, endless summer, I replied. He stiffened. He turned slowly, his face illuminated by the dying sun. He looked vulnerable. It was the most attractive thing I had ever seen. How long have you known it was me? He asked. Since the sword video, I said, stepping closer. The mole gave you away. And the study the blade comments. You're a very specific brand of dork, Alistair. He let out a short, dry laugh. A dork? I have an 8-pack and I run a multi-billion-dollar company. And you think a woman wearing a high-necked sweater is a primordial mating signal? You're a mess. He stepped toward me, closing the distance until I had to look up to meet his eyes. The ruthless capitalist was gone. In his place was the man who had been writing manifestos about a girl's smile. I wasn't wrong about one thing, he whispered, his hand reaching out, hovering just an inch from my cheek. You were provoking me. Every day. Every meeting. You were the only person in this building who didn't look at me like I was a bank account. You looked at me like I was a person you wanted to break. I did break you, I reminded him. I got the point in fencing. You got more than that, he said. He leaned down. It wasn't a calculated move. It wasn't a Sigma play. It was a messy, desperate, perfect collision. His lips were warm, tasting of coffee and a cold evening air. His hands found my waist, pulling me flush against him, and I finally understood what he meant about the lethal nature of the gardenia. Because in that moment, I would have followed him anywhere. When we finally pulled apart, he was breathing hard, his forehead resting against mine. So, I whispered. Are you going to fire me? Alistair smiled, a real, genuine smile that reached his eyes. No. I think I'll just promote you to domestic distraction. It has better benefits. Is that your final answer, endless summer? He pulled his phone out of his pocket, tapped the screen a few times, and showed it to me. He had deleted the app. The narrative is over, he said. The real life starts now. I laughed, grabbing his tie and pulling him back down for another kiss. The internet never found out what happened to Endless Summer and June. The thread went cold, preserved forever as a legendary tale of a delusional boss and his seductive subordinate. But every year, in the middle of June, a massive bouquet of gardenias arrives at a certain house in the suburbs, addressed to a woman who never has to wear a blue skirt to get her husband's attention again. And sometimes, late at night, in the privacy of their own gym, she still lets him show off with the swords. Just to keep the revenue stream interesting.